So a couple of gay dads are angered to be stuck in Cyprus amid passport problems after hiring surrogate to give them twins. The story is actually kind of simple. Two guys, they wanted to have a baby. They found a woman in Cyprus. They said, will you carry the baby? She ended up getting twins. They said, great. Now they are there in Cyprus and they can't get passports, leading to a big debate over what people refer to as like buying babies or hiring them to manufacture babies, whatever. And I got to tell you, I recently had a child and my view on this has moved significantly. Now, to be fair, I was never a staunch proponent or a staunch critic. I was the milquetoast fence-sitter, as it were. But I recently had a child, and oh boy, was I naive and ignorant. I learned a lot right away from the doctors, things that blew my mind, things I didn't even think were possible. Seriously. And I'm learning about what babies need. And I'm going to say it right now, babies need moms. It's not a question of morality, as I largely perceived it early on. I viewed the development of babies largely as, look, we have formula milk. So if there's two guys and they want to have a kid, I understand the question of morality. Some people think it's morally wrong. A kid needs its mother and father. They view this as a more traditionalist moral statement of what a child needs to develop. No, I learned this from the doctor, specifically that babies need their moms. Yeah, the development is possible with formula milk, but it is stunting children. And in fact, some believe it's resulting in genetic abnormalities. I'm not trying to say that to be a dick. We spoke with a few doctors. They mentioned that there are, what did they say? There's an error in the expression of a certain gene resulting in certain effects on modern babies without proper nutrition and diet. And it's pretty nuts. Environmental toxins are causing this too. So that's irrespective of the father or the mother. But I'll get into this. I do want to give you the news first, what the story is, and then talk about my view specifically. I wouldn't say that I'm a staunch, it can't be like 100% no, it shut it all down. I would discourage the practice. Whereas probably before having a kid, I think I was more like, look, I know a handful of gay men who have had kids and through surrogates. And, it's questionable. It is, because the debate is you're basically paying a woman to use her egg, to use her body, to nourish and produce a child whom they pay to take. And that's kind of questionable. But, I was still a bit more like probably leaning towards I'm not a fan of it. Now I'm leaning towards the strongly oppose. I'm not so strongly to say like I think it should be banned outright. And, but I'll explain why for scientific reasons. And I mean this sincerely. The story is this. Human Events has the reporting. A gay British couple remains stuck in Cyprus with newborn twins due to ongoing delays in processing their passports. These two guys spent £85,000 to hire a woman to carry their children and deliver twins, but have been unable to return home. They're going to say the kids were born January 3rd, but despite submitting passport applications, the couple says the process has been repeatedly delayed due to administrative errors. The passport issue is incredibly frustrating. They go on to mention that these guys had flown out in December 23 to deposit their sperm, choosing an egg donor. 3 viable embryos were created, and a surrogate was selected in March. By April, they learned they were expecting twins. Following the birth, they quickly sought to return to the UK. They say the guy had a year of leave, time off, but they're having problems. Emails from the passport office indicated that certain documents were missing, but the couple said they'd already been submitted under the initial applications. The couple has moved between 3 different Airbnbs, incurring massive costs. They've been advised there's no timeline for the process. That story is actually rather straightforward. A couple of guys have some surrogate kids. The debate being ignited by the story, however, is should we allow surrogacy? People on the right largely view this as child trafficking, not an exaggeration. Basically paying a woman to produce a child whom they can then purchase. Now, I do know that a lot of people who are more liberal or, gay individuals, maybe if they're more libertarian conservative leaning, may take issue with the phrase purchase. But I'm not here to make an emotional argument. We're talking about the actual process. A woman carries the child, you pay her money, she hands you the baby. If you don't like the way that's described, that's not my problem, that's your problem. Now, like I said, I'm not in the we should ban it outright category, but I'm leaning closer to it for a variety of reasons. So after having my own child, learned some tremendous stuff. Tremendous. So watching the birth, the umbilical cord, all of these things. and learning about skin-to-skin contact, why it's important. The doctors basically advised us that the mother and the father should have contact with the child because scent, hormones, pheromones, all of these things, like who you are, your bodies, you share these things. It's the bonding process. It is not so simple as just this mystical spiritual thing. I didn't know that. I thought it was some hippy-dippy garbage nonsense. Now, obviously, the mom is going to hold the baby after the baby's born. A lot of times the fathers don't. And they say, the doctor said, no, the father should as well. And I was like, really? And I was like, I get it. There's like a spiritual bond, but what's the real purpose? And then they mentioned like that the baby doesn't just interact. It's not just this scientific thing like there's a baby and hold it and your spirits bond. There are smells. There's like sweat. There's hormones. There's a bunch of stuff involved in this. And I was like, I don't know if I believe all that stuff. Until the doctor said to me that mothers produce breast milk for their babies specifically. It is a specific formula produced by the body specifically for the baby. And I was like, no, right. Like you're saying, like, breast milk is made and the baby drinks it. And they're like, no. The mother's body produces a specific formula of protein, fats, and carbohydrates for that specific baby. And I was like, wait, what? Explain this to me. Because, looking at stories like this, I know that it's possible to raise a baby on formula. However, they recommend against it. Formula, I understand that some moms can't breastfeed, and so they have no choice. And it's not so bad, right? However, when you learn that babies have specific needs and their development can be stunted if they don't get those specific needs, formula doesn't cut it. There's been a big controversy in the U.S. over how European formula is better than American formula, and we can't have it. We got seed oils, even in the best of our formulas. Okay, well, it used to be that when a mother couldn't produce enough breast milk, a wet nurse would provide. Here's the crazy thing. I did not know this. The woman who is lactating will produce specific milk for the baby. I'm like, wait, hold on. You mean it's out? Yeah, no joke. Let me show you. So wet nurses, right? They said that like back in the day, it was very common up to the 20th century. So with the advent of formula milk, people started buying it. You have milk kinship, milk siblings. It used to be in a society, there'd be a ton of women and they'd all have babies all the time. So they were typically lactating. If a new mother wasn't producing, then the baby could nurse off a different woman. Here's the crazy thing. The saliva of the baby interacting with the mother's skin resulted in a specific formula. I did not know that. That, to me, didn't sound possible. So I'm talking to these doctors, and they're like, so here's the thing. Your baby has a certain set of requirements, and they started talking about this. They mentioned how some babies that are premature, the mother's milk has way more fat in it because that's when you can actually see the difference. And it's like, really? And the doctor's like, yes. And I said, but how is that possible? Like, is there like a psychic connection? And they were like, no, it's the spit. And I was like, what? Yeah, the baby's saliva has a certain chemical composition that interacts with the skin of the mother, resulting in the breast producing a specific kind of milk, a specific formula. No joke. So I pulled this up for you on ChatGPT. Do women produce different milk for premature babies? Yes. Women's bodies adapt to produce milk with higher protein, fat, and immune factors specifically tailored to support the needs of premature babies. What? Look at me. I didn't know nothing about this. I know there's a lot of dads watching, laughing, being like, yep, we knew all that. I said, how does the body know? The body detects preterm birth through hormonal signals, placental detachment, and interactions between the mammary glands and the baby's saliva during breastfeeding, triggering the production of milk with specialized nutrients for the premature infant. So then I said, so is all breast milk specifically tailored to the baby's needs? Yes. Breast milk composition continuously adapts based on the baby's age, health, and needs, influenced by hormonal signals, baby saliva, and maternal diet. I did not know that. Did not know that. I think that would have been great if I did know that. Seriously. So the reason I bring this up is I'm sure there's a lot of people right now comment below being like, Tim, how did you not know this? I mean, I'm the first time dad. Never talked to a doctor about it. But that dramatically informs my perception on the issues of surrogacy. This is something I think conservatives should absolutely be addressing first and foremost on the matter. Now, I've heard the arguments that a child needs its mother, but that sounds spiritual to me. It's like kids deserve to have a mother and a father. And I'm like, sure, because we all grew up and we enjoyed it. No. Formula can't cut it. It really can't. While formula is better than nothing and babies can't survive on it, if a baby is like, let's say, low on protein, giving it bulk formula is not giving it everything it needs. It's not getting enough protein. That affects baby's development. If baby needs, X protein, Y fat, interacting with the mother, it's going to get that. If you give it formula, it's getting flat of both, so it's going to be lacking in one area or the other. Some have suggested to me this has resulted in faulty gene expression in the development of youth because they're not getting everything they need when we supplement formula instead of breast milk. Crazy. So from that, I said, man, so if a woman gives birth to a baby and then I don't care if it's a gay couple or otherwise, they take the baby away from the mom and the baby's not getting breast milk and is being formula fed, it will be worse off. Now, I am not saying it will be so worse off we should ban it. Why? Well, because some women can't breastfeed and formula is the best they can do. And I think that's totally fine. What I am saying is that there is a moral component to needing a mother. Seriously, the other thing the doctor told us to is mom's got to cradle baby. For real. Failure to thrive. Babies who are not touched by their parents die. They just die. It's crazy, right? And so there is an evolutionary component to that, whatever it may be, that babies need to know they're being comforted and protected. That's pretty wild. And let me just put it this way. I do believe everybody should be allowed, should be able to have children. It is a component of life. All life reproduces. And there's a challenge in this application of two men paying a woman to do it. You've got the legal, the moral, the ethical, but also the scientific. The legal, moral, and ethical, I remain largely like, I'm not a big fan of it. The scientific, I think, is clear, plain as day. Babies need interactions from their biological mother. Not every child can get it. Because of this, I recognize we shouldn't just condemn the whole structure because there are exceptions to the rule. I do understand the conservative argument, though, and so I lean largely in favor of not allowing surrogacy for anybody in this regard. Look, I get it. There are some women who can't have kids, and so the man will get a surrogate so that he and his wife can have a child through another woman. But that woman still needs to be involved in helping that child develop, and it presents real challenges morally and ethically that I can't answer. What I can say is babies need moms for more than just spiritual reasons, and it's crazy stuff. A lot you learn, huh? Mainly, I do understand that most people probably already know this stuff. It's like baby 101. But because I didn't, I thought I'd make a video explaining that I just learned this, and it's a very powerful and important argument to bring up in the whole surrogacy issue. So I'm going to leave it there. Stick around. We got more segments coming up. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see y'all shortly.